Welcome to the Sponsored Rider Club podcast, your guide to motorsports sponsorship. Here's your host, Josh Weesey.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Sponsored Rider Club podcast live experience, which is powered by 4Wheel Parts and Bold Racing. I got a topic tonight that I want to talk about. This is something that guests bring up constantly on my show. I wish I could go back. I probably could, but I wish I do actually do this one day. Go back and re-listen to the end of all of my shows where I ask people what's one thing we should take away from the show. And almost every single one of them says, you need to be authentic. You need to be your brand. You need to be who you are. Oh, hey, looks like we got some people joining. Hello. So we're going to talk about that today. And I'm live here on Facebook, on the podcast page, and also on Instagram. That's my new thing, too, doing both at the same time. It's pretty straightforward to do. It took me a minute to figure everything out, but we got it. But yeah, everybody on these shows, they tell me you got to be yourself, you got to be authentic, you got to get out there and just be you. But no one ever tells you who you are, not even you, right? That's the hard thing. It took me a long time, and I still feel like I'm working on it every day to be me on this show, or I guess anywhere else. So what I'm going to do here today is try to give you a tool, something that you can work with to be you, to be your brand, uncover what that is. There's probably lots of ways to do this, right? But it's just not straightforward, and I think you need some help, all right? And hey, if I'm crazy, tell me that too. Maybe you got this all figured out and it's really easy for you. But for me, I needed some help. So I come from more of a business background, and almost every business has a vision, mission statement, and maybe even a set of values. And the vision statement is all about like where you want the company to be. And the mission statement is about who the company is. What are you? What do you do? And the values are usually just some core concepts, like some keywords that you kind of live by. Looks like Diesel Troy, welcome to Matt Overland, welcome Rick Schroeder, Spitz Motorsports, UTV Sports Mag. What's up, UTV Sports Mag? It looks like we got Brandon. Hey, thanks for liking it. Yeah, as you're coming on too, go ahead and leave me a little wave, leave a little emoji, a comment, whatever it is, share it, all that good stuff. But yeah, these companies have these vision, mission statements, these value propositions, all these other different things. And I was like, this is kind of goofy stuff, right? I mean, I do it because you think you got to do it, but it takes a minute to really understand, like, this adds some value here, and it's not just in the business world. So what I'm going to offer you today is a little tool that you might be able to use to help discover who you are and what your brand is. And guess what? It's going to take some work. But I call it the personal mission statement. Now, you could take this as far as you want. You could do a personal vision statement. You can do personal values. I honestly have a personal mission statement and values. I don't have a vision statement for myself, but I want you to picture this as something that you have, and I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get there, but that's essentially what I want to talk about today, is creating a personal mission statement for yourself. And as people are joining too, just feel free to leave your comments, and I'll read them on here. Of course, if they're appropriate, I'll read them on here. But UTV Sports Mag just commented on Instagram too. I think being yourself means not changing who you are online, offline, in a group, or with close friends. I 100% agree with that. You want to be the most real person of you, but who is that? Like, if you can put in that the words, who are you? And maybe a couple of you listening right now can just hammer out a mission statement about yourself, like, boom, like that. But not me. I know I personally had to stop and think about it. So I've actually got one in front of me here that I created this was 2018, I think, when I created this one. I've gone through like 4 or 5 different renditions though. So I'm gonna read this one, and honestly, I read it right before doing the show again, because I've got it right here. I don't know if everybody's gonna be able to see this. It's kind of hard to see on Instagram. It looks like you can see it kind of on Facebook, but this is my mission and value statement. So my mission says drive impact and maximize fulfillment by surrounding myself with amazing people. And my core values are happiness, growth, creativity, freedom, and focus. And every time I look at this thing, I think like, am I being true to myself? Was I true to myself when I created this kind of personal branding? Does it still align with where I want to be, who I want to be? And I constantly tweak these things. So actually, at one point, like I used to have the word fun in there, fun instead of fulfillment. And I was like, I am fun, but like, I can be a little wound up sometimes. I can be a little tight. Like, am I really the fun person? Like, and I look at some other people out in the world, like, oh, they're probably the real fun person. Who am I? Like, I like to be fulfilled, and I have different ways of having fun than what other people might be. So I changed that a little bit. And even reading it again, I'm like, it's a little generic. Maybe I need to be more specific, And I take feedback from myself, and, I reflect on what I've put into this mission statement, and I tweak it. And maybe that translates into, like, what shows I do. I mean, this show, for example, is very much up my alley. Like, this is the kind of the stuff that I talk about quite a bit. And I just decided to bring that, to this show, and that's who I am. But that's it. I really didn't have a ton of stuff to talk about. I really wanted to hit this personal mission statement. I want you to take some homework. Yeah, I'm giving you homework now. Sit down and try to write out a personal mission statement. You can honestly Google like how to do this. And there's guides. There's actually some pretty nice guides out there that can kind of help you answer some of these questions. But really all it's about is, who are you? You can ask yourself these questions. Who are you, or who am I? What brand am I trying to represent? What are the things that I live for? Why am I here? And the way I do it, I just start mapping out all these crazy notes, just all over the place. Doesn't mean anything. And I just start forming some sort of a sentence here and there. And then I just start paring things down. It's like, what words really mean something in this? Like on mine, I really wanted to have the word drive and impact, because that felt like me, and that felt like my brand. So those words stuck and they stayed. But I recommend you do something like that. I don't care how you do it. Maybe you sit down with some friends, or, maybe you just sit down by yourself and think. Maybe you talk out loud. Maybe you do a podcast about it if you've got a podcast. A ton of people have those now. Anything like that, just to get your message out there. But I do highly recommend writing it down. You can write it down with some crayons, and that's fine. Or if you want to engrave it into your wall, whatever, it's up to you. But I like to do all my stuff electronically now, so I have my little notepad. I sketch everything out, but and that's how I get it out there. But do it however you want. If you need help with something like that, you can reach out to me, Josh at sponsoredriderclubpodcast.com, or you can Google, how to write a personal mission statement, whatever. But do it and let me know your feedback. I really think that it's going to add value for you, just like it added value for me. Well, that's it. I hope everybody enjoys their upcoming Thanksgiving. I'm going to be out of town for a couple of days, just kind of living life. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm going to still try to pump out my shows, get those things released, get them pre-recorded and pre-released, and hopefully you all won't miss a beat of the show. But that's it. At this point, I'm going to leave you with this. Have fun and ride safe.